As a parent, no 2 days are ever the same. At Care.com, you can find trusted and flexible sitters to help manage your family's ever-changing schedule. Care.com can even help you out with housekeepers, dog walkers, senior caregivers, and more, so you can find care for all you love. And 100% of caregivers who use Care.com have been background checked with CareCheck, a key first step in hiring confidently. To get the help you need to make it all work, sign up now and find a great sitter at Care.com.
El nuevo Crispy Chicken Sandwich de McDonald's es crujiente, tiernito, jugoso. Es pollo de McDonald's, un mordisco y ¡wow! Es el nuevo Crispy Chicken Sandwich. Ordena por anticipado en el app de McDonald's. En McDonald's participantes.
Welcome, readers. Today on Book Chat, we are sharing our hot takes on two very popular books, both Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Audiobooks.com. Audiobooks.com now has 175,000 titles and 1.2 million podcasts. New customers get 3 free audiobooks comprised of 1 premium credit and 2 VIP titles. Use our promo code SHELFADDICTION, spelled as one word, when you sign up at Audiobooks.com. Again, our promo code is SHELFADDICTION. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and welcome to Book Chat here on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. Participate in this discussion by joining the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. I hope to hear your thoughts on today's topic. You can always find me and Casey on Twitter and Instagram. The links for everything I've mentioned are below in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, please support this podcast by sharing it with some book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. That would really help me out, and I appreciate you for doing so. The uncut video version of this podcast is available now on Patreon. Join us there for exclusive videos, including after shows and more. So if you're interested in that at all, you'll need to come on over to Patreon and sign up. Without further ado, let's get started. We've got a lot to cover today, so we are going to jump right on in. Joining me is feature co-host Casey from Heartful of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay! So today we are going to talk about two very popular book series and possibly get into their movie adaptations. I don't know. We'll see how the conversation goes. But we are giving our highly opinionated thoughts on these series. And if you can't guess by the title, we're talking about 50 Shades of Grey and its original series, Twilight.
Yes.
For those that don't know, Twilight was the original work of art, and 50 Shades of Grey was fan fiction to start.
Yes, it was. Which is
amazing.
Sure. Let's go.
But I have a fun fact about, the 50 Shades stuff. I was perusing the internet, and I remember in 2012 when this happened, but in December 2012, Random Publishing House, so I guess it was Penguin Random now, they gave all their employees $5,000 after the huge success of that trilogy.
I heard about that. Like, they made so much money. Like, even the janitors got the bonus. Like, everybody in that building made bank that year.
And isn't that crazy that the fan fiction did that and not the original books?
I mean,
you're like, I guess.
No, I'm happy that books were bought and people read and, all of that jazz. And a lot of people got a lot of bonuses that year. That is awesome. But the content of the book is wow.
I know. Because let me just say, like, I personally know someone in my own circle. I'll just tell on my mother. My own mother doesn't even read books, like not regularly. She's a teacher, retired teacher. She just doesn't enjoy reading, but she read these books and loved them. I couldn't really get it. I didn't get it. And to be fair, I only read book 1. I couldn't get past book 1. How about you?
So I started book 1 and I think I got maybe 80 or 100 pages in, and the grammar was so bad, and also like everything about the story was bad. And I remember think he had spent the night for the first time and she was wearing her hair in pigtails and he's like, I like you like that. You look like a little girl. And I screamed, pedophile! And threw the book down and ran away. And, I didn't even get to their kinky sex stuff. I was like, nope, I'm out. The grammar is bad. The story is atrocious. You don't know how to write sentences. And now he's like comparing you to a little girl. Nope, I'm out. I'm so far out. I'm done.
I don't even remember that part. I think because I was you might have gotten to this part, but I was so scarred for life by this one part. And I'll try to be as vague as possible since this is the public feed. So there's this scene, and if you've read it, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There's this scene, Anna's got her time of the month.
Oh, is that
they go?
Fun?
It is. That's the only book I read. That was the only book I read.
People have told me about this scene, and I'm just cringing. I
was like, my brain wanted to just shut down. I'm like, what the fuck? How is this sexy to anybody?
Nope.
Do not be.
No.
Don't do that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, message me on the side and I'll tell you exactly what happened. You don't have to buy the book and read it. I'll tell you, but I'll tell you off air.
Yes. No, I did not see that part. Again, it was very early. They hadn't even had sex yet. They didn't even have the kinky sex. Okay. It was just, and I was I quit. If I want kinky sex, I'll read something else. So I did. I was like, nope. I
mean, honestly, I was surprised I was able to finish the book. And I did, though, because I wanted to review it. And my review is still up on Shelf Addiction blog. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I did kind of feel, and I still feel, and no disrespect to those that don't read a lot, because my mom is one of those. But I feel like people who didn't read a lot of books like these books because you don't have a lot of perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very fair. It's an easy read. You don't have to think too much. You don't feel like you're being talked down to, because I know some readers who don't read a lot, they get embarrassed when they don't know big words. And so if they feel like a book is too big for them, then they quit. Whereas 50 Shades of Grey is more on their level. And I'm not trying to insult anybody. Everybody's at different reading levels. Everybody's at different comfort levels. But if you don't read often, you're not going to want a book with a bunch of you're not going to go reading Dune or Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. No, you'll fall asleep in 2 seconds because he has such a huge vocabulary. I fall asleep reading those books. It's just easy, light popcorn reads.
It's popcorn and something.
Not
and
popcorn. It's like Peeps. The marshmallowy goodness that I do not like. I don't like Peeps.
With crazy shenanigans in it. Okay, so I do give, as fan fiction, she technically did the job, right? She took those characters and made other characters from them. And then, of course, she switched up the plot just a little bit, but it follows, right? So, yeah, she did what fan fiction is supposed to do. And she grabbed an audience that didn't know they were looking for it. So,
yes,
kudos to her for getting that done.
Yes.
But I will never in my life ever recommend anybody read that book or series ever. It's bad, y'all. It's bad.
It's so bad. It's rapey. It's bad. It's abuse. It's gaslighting. It's terrible grammar.
Yeah, all of those relationship triggers, if you have them, they're probably in this book. If you have any of the more common ones, like Casey just mentioned, it's in the book.
It's in the book. It's absolutely 100. If you have a relationship like this relationship, please go get help. Go to therapy. Run away from your spouse. Just leave. Because this is abuse.
Yeah.
Everything in this book is abuse. And that it is no way shape, or form okay.
And Anna, I guess, Anna, she's going for it. She's about it until, one thing happens she doesn't quite like. But other than that, she's about it. And if I remember correctly, like, it gets worse as the series goes on, as far as like telling her what to eat and what to do and stuff. And yeah, the guy's damaged, right? As most, bad, quote unquote, bad boys are, right? And I'm using the air quotes. But for some reason, everyone, or not everyone, a lot of people that enjoyed this series seem to give this character a pass because he's filthy rich.
No.
Is that the reason? I feel like, because, it's this thing.
He's rich and he's white.
Yeah, and that's a trope, right? Where the rich guy, the rich white guy comes in, scoops up the trash off the street and says, "This is your new life." And everyone's like, "Oh, that's so romantic. They're in a helicopter." And that's all they think about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's Cinderella. It's the girl who's sweeping chimneys is suddenly, married to the prince. And it's... Kink in general is not bad. The way Christian Grey does it is wrong and bad and abuse. And he's trash fire who deserves to burn in hell forever.
Yeah, it's pretty problematic, to be honest. And that's putting it mildly. But I do wonder, though, like, I can't help but wonder, like, what those that read the book and enjoyed it, what did they not see it? Or did they not care? Like, I wonder if I wish I could get into the mind.
Yes, I have a theory.
Okay.
And my theory is expansive and it encompasses America's sexual repressed culture and the fact that we usually don't talk about sex. We can't talk about sex. If you brought up kink before 50 Shades of Grey, you were mocked. Like, nobody talked about it at all. There was a lot of romance and erotic books before 50 Shades of Grey. But again, romance is shit on all the time. They're like, "Oh my God, do you read that shitty trash?" And so for the first time ever, people were like, it's okay, and I'm using air quotes to say okay to read romance. Again, air quotes, because this is not romance. And so for so many... I'm just going to say, like, white suburban moms who live the plain vanilla life, who've never read anything, who wanted their Cinderella story. They read this and went, "Oh, I'm so titillated." I'm being really mean right now. I'm sorry.
No, honestly, I swear. Okay, so you just said, like, the vanilla sex, like,
yes,
it reminded
the vanilla
me
sex
of
life.
It reminded me of Married at First Sight, that one season where the I think Elizabeth is her name, or Beth is her name. She tells her husband all he wants to have is like ordinary, like, vanilla, like, sex. It's like white boy sex or something, she says. I mean, I'm not quoting her verbatim, but I'm like, damn, she told her husband that.
Yeah. That's what most people in America experience. Like, that's the suburban American life. You don't have kinky sex at all. You don't have the rich man flying in on a helicopter to whisk you away to whatever. Like, and so I think for them, that was their first foray into this. And so they're like, "Oh, well, maybe I do like kink, but I like this." And so they just, like, blind sheep follow their new desires.
Oh,
poor babies.
That's unfortunate, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's just so different than anything they've read. And it was considered mainstream, so everybody was reading it, so they weren't ashamed to read it.
Yeah, and they could talk about it with people, whereas, before this, if you watched porn, everybody would, like, gasp and point and, paint you with a scarlet letter or whatever, even though porn's been around for fucking ever. Like, this was the first time it became mainstream. So in that sense, I almost want to thank 50 Shades of Grey. But
I think she reignited that. Yeah, she reignited that in a more mainstream way, which is great. I give that, everything that it accomplished was good.
Yes.
But the content was...
The content, you guys. It's fucked up. Like, it is truly fucked up. This is not the way any sort of kink BDSM should ever work, ever. And again, if any man stalks you like this, please go to the police.
And
Run
if you
away.
Google about this, and ask kind of about BDSM from a professional standpoint, you will find people writing that know about BDSM community and how it works. And they will point out all the flaws to you and the logic of how this all went down in these books.
Yes. Consent. And I want to bring this
rules,
up.
Dude. Rules.
The safe word. In BDSM, everybody has a safe word. And if you use your safe word, everything stops. Like, that's it. That's like hitting somebody with a stop sign. If you say your safe word, you stop. That's it. In one of these books, I don't remember which one, Anna says her safe word and he keeps going, which makes Christian Grey a rapist. He is a rapist. He did not stop when she said stop.
Yeah, I mean, that is really sick. Like, that is the purpose of a stay safe. Person has gotten to their end of their rope of whatever you're doing, whatever it is, they don't like it anymore. Yeah. So you should stop. And if you don't, that is the definition of a rapist.
Yep. So he is.
Which is crazy that to me, it's a little crazy that a woman wrote this and thought it was hot. I just can't wrap my mind around it.
What is going on in your head, ELJ? I was like, why do you think this is okay? I'm not right about kink, but do it right. You know? Like, follow the actual rules. Don't make up your own. Because then people get hurt.
Yeah, yeah. And apparently, so recently she released Freed, I think that was the title, where it's, I think, the first book all over again, but from his point of view. And I have seen some people talk about it, and it's the same effing book again. It's like nothing different, really. And it doesn't make you feel any differently about Christian Grey, from what I understand. And I will never know because I will never read it, but that's what I hear. And the crazy part is I could actually draw some lines between Christian Grey and Edward from the original series. And I've read all the Twilight books. And to full disclosure, I actually liked them when I first read them. But to be fair, that was like a long time ago. I was a lot younger. And now those same things that I remember, I find problematic today. So,
Yeah. Oh, yes. I first read Twilight when I was 14 or 15. Very young, very naive, little freshman in high school. I really enjoyed it at the time. And then I read a bunch of other books and I was like, oh. And I only read the first 3 books. I never read the 4th one and I never watched any of the movies. And I just kind of look back and don't look back at the same time. Like, I will never reread the books. Don't want to, don't need to.
Because they won't land, right? You'll see every flag will be going off, all the warning signs. You won't be able to like it like you did then.
Oh, yeah.
So
no. When you're 14, you're like, yes, I definitely want somebody sitting outside of my window watching me. That's so romantic.
So
and now I'm like,
or in my room staring at me.
Oh, God.
Inside.
Not now.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Jesus.
God. Give me my
no.
Stab this man. Nope.
And the thing is, and I honestly have a problem with this in a lot of vampire books. I don't like when a 500-year-old vampire, I don't care if he looks 17, he's old AF. He has a lot of life experience. And she is literally 16 years old. I find that very disturbing. In other books as well. I mean, if you want to be an old vampire, as they always are, at least get someone in their mid to late 20s or early 30s. Get someone who has had some life experience. They are not a child.
Not older.
if not older, but they will never go that old in the book. No.
In the movie, What We Do in the Shadows, a vampire, he's like 320 something. He finds his old love and he reunites with her and they get married at the end, except she's 94 years old. And he makes a joke about robbing the cradle because she's so young at 94 compared to his 320 something. I love that movie. That is a great movie.
That is so cute because, the funny thing is, or not so funny, because the whole time Bella is constantly infatuated with the fact that she's getting older. But, dude, you're 16 years old. Like,
exactly.
Like, what the hell?
Exactly.
And ironically,
let yourself be.
Yes, I actually agree with the character of Edward on this one thing. Why do you have to be a vampire this right now? Why? I actually agree on that one thing.
I know. If I did all of the things I wanted to do at 16, like become a vampire, no, I do not want to become a vampire anymore. I've outgrown my teenage years so much.
No, who wants to be like an adolescent, basically? You're not even fully in your body yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's
just a sparkly teenager running around the world, going to high school forever. Like, that just sounds like torture. Why would you decide to stay a teenager in high school forever?
I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
I mean, at least go to college. College is better than high school.
You can pass for a college age. And let's be real, all those people that they picked for those movies did not look like teenagers. So,
well, they usually pick 20-somethings for movies anyway. But no, they all looked really hot. You could absolutely, and if you're faking your documentation anyway, pretend you're 21.
I know. Why high
22.
school? It's so, why high school? I don't know. And then honestly, the relationship between Edward and Bella was very parental. Just like with Christian and Anna, it's like he's very dominating over her in a parental kind of way. Oh, I'm going to
be parental, controlling, abusive, controlling. Yes.
Yeah, but I think he was thinking it was a parental because he's trying to protect her, right? A parent will follow your ass to the movies and said, "This is not where you said you were going to go."
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Parents will do that.
Edward followed her ass like
all over the place. Yeah. Edward was creepy. And if a man is stalking you, or a woman, if your partner is stalking you, run away. Go to the police.
Run fast.
Get a stun gun, a taser, protect yourself, take some kickboxing classes, do something.
Gosh. Something. Because I'm like, I can't. And I have watched all the Twilight movies. And I feel like I just watched them because I feel like I was invested. I had read all those books and I wanted to see what happened. And I feel like the movies had a chance to correct some things, but they didn't. They just followed the books really closely, which was disappointing.
I didn't watch the movies. I didn't want to. I was like, boop.
You didn't really miss anything, especially the first one. The first one was god-awful. God-awful. It was awful. Also, to be fair, it wasn't as bad as 50 Shades. I just think, yes, there are two different audiences, right? One is YA, one is adult.
I have to ask, way back when you read and enjoyed these books, were you team Edward or team Jacob?
Edward. I never, and you know what? It's funny. Let me keep it real. I never, ever really like anybody that can change into an animal. I just don't like it. Yeah, some of it reads very hot, but I don't like to see, in those books I'm reading now, thanks to you and Nicola, I don't like to see feline things in my men where they're doing things that are cat-like. I don't like it. Or a dog. I don't want you trying to lick my face or anything crazy. I don't like that stuff. So I take a vampire any day over an animal. What about you?
I'm the opposite. I prefer shapeshifters and werewolves 2 vampires. But back in the day, I was 100% Team Edward because Jacob annoyed the fuck out of me. He was just this whiny little baby that I wanted to punch. I was like, I like werewolves, but fuck you, Jacob. Like, nope. So
Jacob was annoying. He acted like a really whiny brat.
He did. He
yeah.
was a whiny little boy.
Yeah.
And it was annoying. Even back then, I was like, fuck you, Jacob.
And even when he showed up the next school year and he's like, damn, what happened to you? You grew up. You got a body now. I still was like, ugh. He still was like, ugh.
I know. Even when he got hot, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. You're like a little annoying boy who follows the hot girl and can't take a hint and just needs to take a hint.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'll always probably be team vampire or whatever, unless the vampire is like a gross vampire. If it's a sexy vampire, and there's always a couple of exceptions. I think I would make an exception for Adam Haltman. I would make an exception for that because he's hot. I would do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Always.
But in general, I would just prefer the vamp over. But yeah, fun stuff, I tell you. Actually, this is a great time. We're going to take a quick break. Check out the sponsors. When we come back, we'll finish this conversation. Stay with us.
At Capella University, education is as smart as the world around us. With the FlexPath format, you can take classes at your own pace, set your own deadlines, and even leverage your previous experience to move faster. Now that's smart. Learn more at capella.edu.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. Okay, we are back, guys. Welcome back. We're going to jump right back on in and continue our rant against Twilight and 50 Shades. Well, let's talk about the side characters a little bit in these books because they are also kind of problematic as well.
So something that has stuck with me all these years, and I only read this the one time. I think this was book 3, I don't remember. They're having the birthday party and Bella accidentally gets a paper cut, and I think it's Jasper flips the fuck out and tries to rampage across the room to rip into her because blah 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 blah. But this is the boy who goes to high school, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, what do you do when somebody in school gets a paper cut?
That happens every day.
A girl is on her period, or somebody gets a nosebleed in the fucking high school. There's blood on in a high school. Let's be
you're
real.
Playing sports, you scrape something.
Yeah.
How
Kids fall down, they play kickball, they get hit, And I'm just like, this itty bitty little paper cut in this one room has him flipping the fuck out, and people had to carry him out. Except he goes to high school and doesn't bat an eye anywhere. And I was
he's been going to high school for decades.
Yeah.
You're not used to that by now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Big old plot hole right in the middle.
Right there. That's been bothering me for the last, 15 years. So I'm just like, girls get their periods in high school.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Not even to be gross,
kind of blood, but in their minds, I think it's a different kind of blood. But in other books, it's blood is blood. So it just depends on what book you're reading, what author is writing it. I guess.
Again, okay, we don't even have to go that route. We'll go back to Kiki and Jim and falling down, cutting your knee or whatever.
Yeah.
Or in biology class, cutting your finger on some glass. Shit happens everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Are these vampires just not flipping out, or is it Bella's special, delicious smelling blood? I don't remember.
Well, remember that one guy, what was the guy? James, I guess, was the villain in the first book, where he was trying to like hunt her down and stuff. But I don't know if it was because he smelled her, she was so delicious or whatever, or if it was because he wanted to chase her. I think it was because he wanted to chase her. I don't know. There seemed to be something unique about Bella that made everyone and their mother want to, come for her. I don't know why. She wasn't that special. Heroine. But I also had issues with, what was the girl's name? Rose Marie or Rosalie? Rosalie.
Yes.
I didn't like her either. I didn't like her either. Like, she was very, very, she need therapy, man.
Oh yeah. No. All of the vampires needed therapy. Like, I know the dad was a doctor or vet or something or other.
He's a doctor.
He needed to go find a therapist and change her or him or something. He needed to change somebody into a therapist.
He found the most damaged people to turn. And I guess in hindsight, for the thrills of it, I guess that is good for writing, if you're trying to make high drama. I don't know. I'm trying to be kind of forgiving, but I don't know. There were a lot of problems with it looking back. And like, I can't even really watch the movies again. Like, I feel like they're kind of like one and done. I'm not going to be
trying to watch.
Yeah. And people loved those. They still love them today.
I work with authors who tell me, like, to this day, they're like, I read Twilight 10 years ago and I loved it and I want to start writing. And so here's my first book. And I'm like, congratulations, that's amazing. Let's get you published. Let's do this for you. So that's a huge boon for Twilight too.
So are there influences from Twilight in these books that you read?
Yes.
Because I just read a book last year. It's on my counter. A publisher sent it to me. And I can't even think of... Crave. That's the title. It has a red something or another on the front. So it's very reminiscent of Twilight, 100%. The kids are in high school. I mean, it's almost like copy-paste. But, there's a little something different going on with the magic. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little something different. But it's the same. This dark, dangerous dude, this new girl who is kind of, I don't know. She has this guy friend that wants to be with her, but also does the other dude want to be with her? It's like all these books that found like inspiration to write from Twilight. To me, a lot of the times end up sounding like Twilight 2.0, 3.0, 4.0.
Yeah, no. This one is about witches, so not vampires. And the author told me from the start, she's like, I do not want to have a love triangle at all. My heroine very clearly ends up with this person. Like, there's no in between. No
love triangle? I can get with that.
And then she started doing the love triangle. And I was like, hold up a second. Just so you know, this is looking like a little triangle. And she's like, no, it's like a line where they're not connected. And I was like, let's keep an eye on this to make sure it doesn't turn into an actual triangle.
Yeah, because I love when there is not a triangle. Like, I feel like a lot of these couples in these books, the author gives them, usually authors give them a lot to worry about already.
Yes.
And they have a lot of personal things to get over. Yeah. You don't really, I just think that the triangle is so adolescent, like so high school.
It really is. It really is. Every once in a while, there's an author who does it well, where you're very clearly like in love with one person and yeah. Or other times, Kresley Cole. I love her love triangle because I want them to end up in a triangle. And I know I'm in the minority here, but I'm like, the three of them need to be together forever, the end. And that's like the best kind of triangle. When it's, one couple is very clearly a couple, but there's just this one other person here for the drama. That's when it gets annoying.
Yeah, I almost want to say the triangle you're looking for is like a three-way relationship.
Yes, that's fruitful. That's what I want to
a
read.
throuple. Yes, that's what yes. Because like traditional triangle, she picks one or the other, or one dies so that she doesn't have to pick one or the other.
I hate that trope. I hate it. I think it's such a cop-out. Why the hell would you kill one person? Like, no, don't do that.
Or Twilight did the cop-out. Oh, I actually am like linked to your baby. Ugh. Casey's face is like deadpan.
Ew, no.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that either.
I thought that was the creepiest thing ever. I'm like, ew. Like, really? Imprinting, quote unquote, on a baby? That just sounds really... that was just too much. I'm like, we're really getting out here now.
Thank God they didn't do anything like that in 50 Shades of Grey. But
oh God, that would just be the worst.com, actually. Yeah. So that was, I think, one of the worst things that the author did in Twilight was that whole baby and Jacob fiasco. And no shade, but plenty of shade. That name of that baby is the fucking worst. I'm like, that is the awful name. Renesmee? I'm like, at first when I read it in the book, I'm like, how do you pronounce that? Let me sound it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is god awful. I'm sorry. I feel a little hateration coming for that. I just can't do it. I can't. That's so ridiculous. So many things about Twilight was ridiculous, but apparently I was there for it, 10 plus years ago?
We'll say 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Like, whew, it's been a while.
I know. And then we got round 2 with 50 Shades. I swear, you guys, when I found out that 50 Shades, before I read it, I found out it was fan fiction. And I was like, kind of already giving the sideways glance anyway, the side eye was real. But I'm like, I'll try it. I'll give it a whole try. I did give it one whole book try.
You did a lot more than me. I quit hardcore very early.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And I do want to know, okay, if you guys liked 50 Shades, tell us. I want to know why you liked it. And please don't, if you're listening to this podcast, I am sure you read more than one book a quarter because we read a lot of books. I would put you in a higher reader category with, lots of readers, right? Hardcore readers, not one-off readers. I would want to know from a person that reads a lot of books, why you like 50 Shades. Tell me, please.
Absolutely. And if it was a gateway book for you and you like have fond memories of it, that's totally legit.
Yeah.
Tell us. Is it something better did? Was it something Anna said? Like what was it about the book that really struck a chord with you?
Yeah, I always like to learn that kind of stuff, even though I may not necessarily agree. I'm cool with like hearing a different point of view on it because, not that like I am like 100% perfect in everything in life, but I do have problems with things when I read them or watch them. And I think it's okay to express that as we do on this show. But, if you liked it, it's also good to express that too. I'm not going to hate on that.
Absolutely. And the thing about us is that you and I usually dislike the very popular books because something about it, I hate to use this word, but it triggers us. We just don't like the writing style. We don't like the character. We don't like XYZ. And so we go against the grain. And so I do like talking to people and saying, okay, what made you love this book?
Yeah. Because after this, so there are lots of popular books that we can talk about. There are a shit ton of big sellers that guaranteed I have some shit to talk. Guaranteed.
Nicholas Sparks.
Some of his stuff is problematic. Yes, definitely.
I've read 0 of his books, but I will shit all over them. I will.
Okay, y'all got to be around for that episode when we get to that.
Yes.
And you know what else I would love while you are messaging us and all this fun stuff, or considering messaging us, if you have
Please
a book that you just loved to death, or you think the world loved it, but you suspect that we won't, send it on over to me. I want to see.
Please.
Because
please,
we might
please.
talk about it. We may add it to our list of popular books that we can't stand list.
Evil cackle going on right there.
Yes. I don't know. I just always go 90% of the time I go against the grain on the really popular books for some reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, tell us.
Yeah.
And maybe if we're in a good mood, we could invite you onto the podcast to defend it while we bash it, or vice versa. Or, we could all just get on here and talk. If you've ever had dreams of being on the podcast with us.
Yeah. So send us your suggestions. I'm trying to think, is there anything else we should talk shit about on these two books?
Well, we never mentioned the fact that Edward sparkles.
Oh God. Oh.
Does that need to be brought up? Like, that's
my God.
Joke for of humanity.
Like, sparkles? Really? I mean, could you at least, that is some bullshit. I will take a daylighter ring any day, a spelled object any day over a fucking sparkling vampire. No.
Sparkle.
Hey, Mom, meet my boyfriend. I'm sorry, if he stands in this light, he does look a little odd, but just ignore that. Just ignore that he looks like cut glass or whatever. Or glitter.
Glitter bomb went off,
He just, he opened a package and there's glitter all over his face. Don't even be worried.
It's totally legit. That totally happens all the time.
Oh my God. I don't think anyone else has written about a sparkling vampire. She gets that for imagination. Yeah, because no one else would dare write that shit about a vampire.
Nope. We'll make jokes about it, but I don't think anybody will ever write it again.
This scary, very primal and mega strong and deadly person that sparkles. It's a racket. What the hell? At least Christian Grey didn't sparkle in any kind of way, so she drew the line.
But he is a rapist. So,
well, okay.
I'm going to keep saying that. I pick sparkles over rape every day, every day.
Yes, I would too, but I would choose neither if I had a choice.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh Lord, these books, y'all. We didn't really talk about the movies that much. A little bit, but you didn't watch them anyway, so there's no point. There's no point. I would be alone in that, so we're not going to
I mean, if you want to vent, go right ahead.
No, they're shitty. That's all I have to say. They're shitty. Period. End of point. They're shitty. Don't waste your 2 hours.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we're done. Are we done, Casey?
I think so. I think we're
done with this exploration back into time. And so hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked this episode, definitely holler at us. Let us know. Because we have more of this coming later in the year.
Yes.
We have a lot of fun
your
stuff
favorite
coming.
Books, your least favorite books. Let us know what we should talk about. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So it's been a great chat. If you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, I appreciate you so much for listening to this entire episode. Love you lots for doing that. And we'll catch you in the next, podcast that we're together.
Yay!
So, yes. Take care of yourselves. Talk soon, guys.
Bye, everybody.
If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review, or like this episode on your favorite podcast player. It seems so simple, but it really helps me out. You can share this podcast with other book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. You can also join the Shelf Addiction Patreon family. For as little as $2 a month, you will help us produce even more awesome content for your ears. You can also consider joining the Shelf Addiction Official Facebook group, where we talk all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction Podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. You can also reach us via email at info@shelfaddiction.com. Thank you for listening.
I don't know what I was thinking when we named our dog Kitty. And this sweetie's become a true family member. So when we vacation, she comes too. That's why we love Red Roof. Not only are they pet friendly, you also get a great price on clean, comfortable rooms so you wake up rested and ready to hit the road again. And this summer, when we rest and repeat at Red Roof, staying 2 separate times can earn us a free night. Isn't that right, Kitty? Book at redroof.com.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Oh, that's a cheer we used to do in softball.
What? It's actually Geico's.
Whenever someone hit a triple, we would wave our bats and yell, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. But we never got to use it because we would only hit home runs. Annoying.
The phrase is from Geico because they help save people money.
Geico? Yeah, they were our team sponsor.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.